G'day folks, in this video I'm going to show you how to solve this Whit-Eden Mixup 3x3 Plus or Mixup Plus 3x3 version. There's quite a few different versions of these things. This is the 3x3 Mixup Plus. So the plus meaning that the edges are split. We don't just have a single edge along there. A 3x3 basically meaning 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is what we're looking at. This is probably my favourite of the mix-up cubes. Now at the moment I don't have them all, but I'm getting them, and so maybe this will be superseded. But here's what we do to scramble it normally. First of all, I guess we can start dealing with these split edges. So to deal with them, this is how we're going to solve them as well. Turn this in, and this is the beauty of the mix-up cube. It starts doing stuff like that. Then we can switch. Now if we just turn that back, you'll see that that's switched a couple of edges there. We're just going to keep doing that for a while, and we can actually do it on both sides if we want, until we have a nice decent scramble of those split edges. Now you can do it as much or as little as you want, of course. I'll try and do it reasonably, but I don't care if it's not, you know, exactly perfect. Most of these you can see now are quite split. In fact, there's one there, let's get them done. I reckon they're all split. Once that's done, I guess you can start doing this a little bit. This doesn't matter that much because it'll happen almost now. And the last phase of the solve, to really add to the fun, is just to start turning single turns here, and now start scrambling. Do another single turn. Having all that aligned is important. And I'll just continue doing this and take you through until full scramble. Alright, look at that. That's a pretty awesome scramble. I'm happy with that. You can keep going as much as you want. Obviously the first step of the solve is to get it back to cube shape without all these bits sticking around. Here's the basic move that'll get you done, and what you're looking for is an edge that's in a center position like this, and we want to have it so that if I'm looking at this face, I want to have it so that when we turn that edge into there, it lines up with these corners. If I have it like that and I turn it in, you can see that it's not lining up at all. So what I want to be starting with is, so it's like that. Then I want to find a center in the upper face and put it just here or here, doesn't matter, I normally put it here. I turn that edge 45 degrees into that position and then replace it with this center, just using a down, down, up, up, and then turn that back 45 degrees. You'll notice that the center has now gone back into the center, and the edge that we had is now up here in its correct position. So I'm just going to look around, find, there's another one. I can't find a center on here, so I'll just turn it upside down. And do I have one? Yep, I've got one over the back there, so turn that in. And as long as I can, I'll just keep doing this. And you'll find it'll make a fairly significant difference fairly quickly. As you can see, it already has. There's another one. This cube is so smooth and so good that the hardest part is keeping this layer aligned correctly so it doesn't go where it wants. Alright, well we look around, there's actually no edges in centers anymore, but there's edges here which are all kind of twisted in the wrong position. 1, 2, 3, I'm going to actually put a fourth one in there as well, just down there with an edge piece series. When you have that, the easiest thing to do is to do a 45-degree turn, put them all into the center position, turn each of the faces one turn, and you'll see now that they're all facing the correct way. Now I'm essentially now going to turn them back like that. You'll notice it puts these other edges out. So instead of that, I'm just going to now replace this center down to here, replace this piece. And it's done. Move around. Here's another center that I can replace this one with. no more centers up there, so I'll turn upside down. What am I looking to replace now? At this stage I'll probably turn it back and see where I am. I've got this one and this one, so I can just that there, replace it with the center, turn it back, edge, red center, put it down, turn it back, and let's take stock. Got almost all of the edges done. Alright, just a single edge here that needs to be dealt with, so we do the same sort of thing. I'll put it into the center, twist it, and put it back, and now take stock. 1, 2, just got those two edges to deal with. I'll do that in the same way with the centers, with the basic move. That's one of them done. And where's the other one? Well, that's the center. That's that one done. You can see that that has dealt with all of the edges, and now all I've got left are these sticky up bits. Okay, now in terms of actually getting these sticky up bits to stick down, what we want to do is use, you'll never guess, the corner piece series. I love this algorithm. It's the coolest algorithm since sliced bread. And what you're looking for is here, these two pieces, and one at the back here. I'm going to set it up and show you what I mean. This is the sort of thing we want. We want two on the top, which are both up, and one in this position, which is down. What's going to happen is that's going to go there and go down. That's going to go to here and stay down. This one is going to come up to here and stay down. So it's going to deal with any two of these pieces. So what we do is a normal corner piece series will turn the upper face, then the right, then the up prime, and the left away, and then come back like this. And you can see that's done nothing. So what we need to do, instead of the up face, we need to turn the middle layer as our up face. And you'll notice that those three pieces which were here and all up, they're now down. That's awesome. So here's another two, and there's one that's down. So we just repeat that. I don't even need to do that last turn because it's irrelevant to this. I'm going to keep doing that until all of them are sticking down. Beautiful. How easy is that? Okay, now that's back to cube shape. The next stage of this is to make our proper Rubik's Cube edges. They're all split at the moment. We want to make them. We're going to make them in the same way that we unmade them. And so here I see a blue, and if I've got a blue, I want to attach a blue piece to it. Now let's have a look what happens when I turn this in. Firstly, that piece goes there and it's going to move. What's on the other side? That piece there. Where did that come from? That position. So I basically want to find a piece that goes with this and put it in that position, like that blue piece. Then I'll turn it in 180 degrees, turn it back, and I've made that. Real simple. I just keep working my way around and putting the bits there that I need. So there's a yellow that I need. That's the piece. If I want to go really, really intelligent, I can say there's a red piece. So I'm looking for a red piece which is attached to a yellow edge, because that'll do both of them. A red piece attached to a yellow edge like that one there. So then I can get that into position, and when I turn, what will happen is that it will deal with the red and it will deal with that yellow as well. Okay, so I'm looking for a blue piece attached to an orange, if one exists. Oh, look at that. Turn, both done. Red piece attached to a blue, and as you go on it's going to be more unlikely that you'll actually find what you need, and I don't have one, so I'll just do the red. You can see how quick and simple this is. Yellow piece attached to a red. No, we'll just have to settle for a yellow. Looking for a green attached to a red, and we do actually have one this time. Looking for an orange attached to a yellow. No, we don't have one, we'll just have to use an orange. Looking for an orange attached to a red, or just, I think from now on I'm just going to be saying just an orange. Line that up. Looking for a green, there it is. I'll whiz through these because it's precisely the same move that we do over and over again until they're all made. And I reckon that has reduced all of those edges to Rubik's Cube edges. Now the next stage is to start placing the edges, but before we do that we've got to make sure that our centers are correctly positioned. Look at this, there's a white center next to a yellow center. That's no good because there's no white and yellow corners that are together. The white and the yellow are opposite. And the reason this has happened is because every time we do one of these moves here, if you look at the white center and that yellow center, if I was to do this, it actually swaps the centers. That's what's going on. So to put the centers back, we'll need to swap these pieces of the same color. So I'm just going to find another blue, like that one, and put it there and there. And now I want to swap, I actually don't want to swap the white and the yellow, I want to get the yellow over to here. So let's do it with this one. I want to swap the yellow and the orange, and I'll use these two white pieces to do it. So I move them around. You'll notice when I do that it retains the reduced edge, and now the white and the yellow center are opposite each other. Then I've got to have red blue if white's on the top. So I'll find a red, and you can see the blue should be on this side of the red. So I've got to swap the red and the blue. So again, there's a yellow, there's a yellow. That's ready to go. And those two are swapped. Then that should be orange green, and we're done. Now we can start placing edges as we normally would. I do an edges first approach, and that is what I'm going to do here. Okay, so the white cross is made. I'm going to place some edges into the middle layer, just 3 edges into there. And that's 3 done. That 4th one now I'll use to help place these last edges. So I'll look at the back opposite that 4th one, and that's yellow orange and yellow blue. That's the pieces that I'm going to try and place first. There's a yellow orange done. Yellow blue's got to go to there, and it's got to flip. So I'm going to put it down into this position first. Then I'm going to place it into this position. Always doing even number of turns to keep my whites where they are. Now I'm going to have a look what's going on. I've got the green red, it's got to go there, the green yellow to here, the yellow red to here. So that one's going to be correctly oriented, that one's going to be correctly oriented, that one's not when it turns up. So that tells me that I turned that onto its position last. Okay, now that's all the edges done, but that's not as simple as it can be. So let me set up for another potential case for you, and the first thing I'll do is this. Now what we've got here is these 2 edges in the back are placed, this one's placed, and these 2 need to swap. Well, if we've got 2 that need to swap, all we need to do is turn the upper face 1 turn, and then resolve the back 2 edges using an even number of turns. So I'll place that yellow orange in there first, cycling these 3 edges. That's in. Then I'll place the yellow blue, which is now here. So I'll cycle those 3 edges. And they're back in, and you'll notice these have all come back into a nice solved position. If they're not solved, they'll just be 3 cyclable. That's the easy one. We've got a harder one. Let's have a look at that now. And this case is the single flipped edge case. We've gone and placed all of our edges, and we've just got 1 flipped edge here. That's a bit bizarre on a normal 3x3 cube. That means someone's fiddled with your cube. But on this it's quite acceptable. And what we're going to do to fix it is to actually flip the edge, believe it or not. So what I'm going to do is take the edge into here, into the middle, just with a 45-degree turn, and then I'm going to turn it 180 degrees to flip it. Now before I put it back, I'm actually going to put a center down in the middle there, and I'm going to flip that center, because that center doesn't change, but what it will do is keep the other centers in their correct location. Then I'll put it back and return it. Now if we look at the centers, white's opposite yellow, red's on the left of blue, so all is well there, and what we've got now is a correct center. You can see the blue matches there, the yellow matches there. We now need to remake this center. So we'll grab another blue piece. You can see one just over here, and we'll switch it with that one. And that blue yellow now needs to switch with this blue yellow. And because I want to switch back the white and the blue centers, I'm going to do it on this face. So I'll put the two edges where I want them here, and now switch those two, put them back, and what we'll find is that all the centers are still correct, and I've got that edge flipped, and I now just need to go and remake, or replace I should say, my white edges again. And now we'll find that we have a nice 3-cycle. That will come down correct. That will go across correct. This one will go up flipped, which means that's the one I've got to turn onto its position last. And you'll remember we started this little section having a single flipped edge. We now no longer have that problem. So the edges are placed. We're nearly on the home stretch, save for one possible parity situation at the end. So for now I'm going to go and place my corners, and I'll do that using the corner piece series, and I'll have the alg up on the screen, but essentially looking for a corner to roll along an edge. If you don't know about the corner piece series, you're missing out. I use it for pretty much everything. Fantastic little algorithm. Just looking for another one that will roll. And if I can't, I can find one here. Blue, orange, yellow can roll down to there. Again, I won't spend heaps of time on it, but there is a link in the description to a video specifically on the corner piece series, if you'd like to watch that. Alright, now if I can't find one that rolls, I can do across a diagonal. Let's do this one. If I move a piece across the diagonal, the piece on the left, the colour on the left will land on the top. And that's what I want, except it's going to do that, and I don't want to knock this piece out, so I'm actually going to move that up there and create a roll across the back edge. Put back that setup move. What can we do next? Yellow, blue, red. Again, that'll go across, but it's going to involve that, so I'll turn it up and give it a roll. Undo that setup. Now I should now have 4 corners left. Let's have a look. That's in position. The yellow, green, red's got to go here. That one. Orange, white, blue. That's coming up to orange. Okay, so none of these are particularly nice, so I'm going to turn that one there, and I know that this face is the white face. So I'm now looking, and having done that setup, I can see that that white sticker will come to the top, which is what I want. So I'll carry out that corner piece series, and then put back the setup. Let's see what I've got. I've got a white, orange, green to here, green, orange, yellow to here, green, yellow, red to here. Okay, so I do have a 3-cycle that I can now finish off. So the thing here is just working out setups. Now, if setups are too hard, I'm going to show you a different method just of placing the corners and then orienting the ones that need to be oriented. So first of all, what will I do? I will place... I'll set this one up so I can roll that one in, make sure that at least one of them is placed. and you'll see that has gone in place. And I've now got two corners that need to twist. This one needs to twist anti-clockwise, this needs to twist clockwise. Put the anti-clockwise one at the front left, clockwise one at the front back. Front back, man, I say that a lot, back left. And now carry out down, down, up twice. And then that has twisted, you'll notice. Bring the other one into its position and do the opposite, down, down, up. And then undo that. Those two corners have twisted. Now, we haven't encountered the parity yet, but we better encounter it, so let me show it to you now. Well, we've got the parity here, and I've got to tell you, the parity situation is a right royal pain in the neck to fix up. It's not a hard fix, but it's a long fix. I don't really know of any massively simple, quick method to deal with it, apart from physically taking out the corners and swapping them. Now, what I've got here is 1, 2, 3 corners, and you might think, well, that's a 3 cycle, isn't it? No, actually that is in position. That yellow, orange, blue and the yellow, orange, green need to swap. And just to show you that it's still a swap of two corners, I'm going to place the yellow, orange, blue in here. Like that. And when I put that back, you'll see that that whole blue face is solved. And on the green face, the green, white, red and the green, orange, yellow need to swap. That is the parity situation. Two swapped corners. How the heck do we deal with it? Well, it doesn't matter where we do this, but because it's the stupid thing about it is it's going to really quite mess up the cube, and it's almost going to be like you're going back to the start. So what we've got to do is carry out this fix. Down, down, up, turning this face first, and then a 45-degree turn, and then turning the right face first, down, down, up, and then a 45-degree turn. Now we need to do 4.5 of them, so that's one. There's two. I told you it was a pretty simple fix, it's just going to be a long cleanup. There's our third one. There's our fourth one. I said 4.5, which means we now just do this edge piece series and put that in. And what we'll see if we forget about the sticky up bits at the moment, that all the edges are fine, all the Rubik's Cube edges are fine, except for this and this edge. Now what's happened, we had a swap of two corners and no swaps of edges. Now we've got a swap of two corners and the green-red belongs there, the yellow-green belongs there, so we've got a swap of two edges. We've created a swap of two edges. So that has actually fixed the problem. Now we've just got to resolve the cube. What I have found in doing it, and perhaps I could have spent more scientific analysis time figuring out a quicker way to accomplish this, is by the time you get all these bits back in and down, the cube essentially is largely messed up, and then you can run into the single flipped edge again when you go and resolve it. So what we're going to do now is resolve it again, firstly by putting these down and then remaking the edges. I'm going to take you through that as quickly as I possibly can. Anyway, you'll remember that we started this little scenario, my goodness that was annoying, with two swapped corners, and now what we've got, one to here, this to here and this to here. We now have our 3 cycles, so that fix definitely works. It is definitely also a pain in the neck. So our final corner piece series to deal with these, the blue's going to here. At the moment the orange is going to come to the top there. I'd like to get the sticker colour on the orange face into that position in order to correctly place this piece as well. Now that's there, that single setup move, I can go ahead and carry out my final corner piece series. Undo the setup move. And after all that sped up stuff and all the rest of it, that Mixup 3x3 Plus is solved.